Morning, sorry this video's taken so long, but we're going to finally get through the intercropping results. First off, got a bit of a special guest cameo appearance from Dad, just showing a bit of how the separation process went. Sorry, some of that's in portrait, old man syndrome. And also just going to be showing a little bit of just how we weighed it, not too much, and then we get on to the results and do some gross margins. Just to say also, if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, go and check them out. But basically I'm talking about a bunch of trials for intercropping, growing more than one crop at the same time, over 16.5 hectares, also with variety mixes as well, grown all in the spring, post-winter cover crop, zero till drilled, and absolutely no inputs in regards to pesticides or fertilizers applied after drilling. The cover crop was sprayed off previously, so absolutely nothing to kind of set a bit of a baseline and kind of a bottom figure, and can only improve from there.
Hi, I'm Robert, Ben's dad, and he's just asked me today to make a little video because he can't be here. Today we are separating the different crops from the intercropping trials. So if you have a look at this. So the boats will come out of the intake pit, which we've just seen, and they'll come into this storage tank here that holds 36 tons. And then they will be sent up there where the cleaner is, which will separate them. So this is our Denny cleaner. The boats will come in from this end, go down here. This screen will take oats out. This screen will also take the oats out. Then we've got the big screen here, which will take out the beans. And then right at the end, all the rubbish will fall down there and go into a dustbin below us. I thought I'd show you this while it wasn't running, because when it's running, it's very noisy, as you will see in a minute. So these are the cleaned beans.
First trailer all loaded up, ready for weighing from the trials. Peas, barley, mustard, and the peas barley, I think it is. Don't know if that's picking that up there, but 640 kilos, probably because it's LED or something. First lot done, that's the total weight of the trailer at the top, then the individual bits. Mustard, peas, barley done, peas and barley done, now on to the beans and oats. So I won't be recording too much as I'm on a neighbour's farm who's kindly let us use their weighbridge. But basically we're chucking a bag on at a time on the weighbridge and then putting it back on the trailer and just adding up all the totals. So just taking a few loads out of here. Go on the trailer again. Got another one loaded up, ready to go. Well, not loaded up, another ready to go. This is beans, oats, and oilseed rape, this one. Another load done, 2 loads unloaded. For you to go. So behind me all here is now all the completed bags, plenty of them. All the different ones separated now. Let's talk results and what did well, what didn't. I stupidly went and recorded this and forgot to turn the microphone on. So this was the 3-way mix in the first field. So plot 1, beans, oats, oilseed rape. As you can see, beans didn't do too well this year because of the dry spring. But oats seemed to do all right in this situation. I think the oats helped definitely with weed control. The oilseed rape was a massive pain. I think you can see right at the bottom of that photo there, right in the middle, a tiny little oilseed rape plant. Didn't really come to much. But definitely interesting trying to do the 3-way because they're all quite different seed sizes. But the oilseed rape was a pain. You can see the oilseed rape as it started had no real flea beetle damage. You can see at the top there's some grazing on the beans a little bit, but yeah, flea beetle wise relatively unfazed, which is quite surprising. But yeah, I mean, it just started flowering again towards the end of July, early August, and it was just a bit of a pain. This plot would have been able to have some sort of a graminicide spray, such as Falcon probably, to control weeds as they're both broad-leaved, but it was more due to the maturity. It was a bit of a pain. This plot also did seem to have a lot of thistles, which is very interesting. You could see that to the line quite clearly. But yeah, the beans were harvested before the oilseed rape was even ready. It took that long, into September. Again, vetch and oats. It was quite interesting, this plot. The vetch definitely needed to be planted thicker, which is something to bear in mind. But as this plot was mainly oats, it was very good in regards to weed control. You could see that oats were brilliant scavengers and weren't really too affected that much by a low nitrogen regime, I suppose you'd call it. But the vetch did mature a little bit too early for the oats. When it was quite low, it didn't climb the oats as much as I thought it would. But yeah, it definitely needed to be thicker. And then finally in this first field, the beans and oats. So this made up the balance of the rest of the field that wasn't in like the tremline trials at 24 or 48 metre strips. So include the headlands as well, so probably a bit of a yield penalty there. But I think quite an easy one, looked very healthy throughout. Very good in regards to any sort of crown rust on the oats or any rust or chocolate spot on the beans. They only seemed to have any sort of disease coming in towards the end when they were both dying off naturally. But yeah, one I'm going to play around with a little bit more. Hopefully if we get a better year for beans, I think we'll try this one again. Moving into the second field, plot 5, vetch and barley. Again, the vetch wasn't planted too thick enough. The barley matured slightly earlier than the oats did in that comparative plot with the vetch. So was kind of a better companion for the vetch, but barley really did suffer not having any nitrogen. As you can see, it looks quite stressed. It was quite dry as well, so no mineralization because it was drilled with a no-till drill, and obviously no inputs as well. So barley did seem to suffer, and yeah, didn't have enough vetch, but weed control was good in this plot. Peas and oilseed rape. This was right at the start of when the peas, well, probably more towards the end of when the peas really hit their growth spurt. You can see some small oilseed rape plants in there. They did suffer. When the peas were at full stem extension, you can see they're all podded up there nicely. They really crowded the oilseed rape quite a lot. It wasn't until the peas started dying off and going down a bit, it allowed the oilseed rape to really come through and stop being shaded, which again, not really many oilseed rape made it to harvest as it started flowering again, so a bit of a pain. But next up was a 3-way mix in this field. Yeah, a bit of a bit of variety. The barley definitely helped with disease suppression. Sorry, not disease suppression, with weed suppression. And the mustard was really easy to grow. I think I added a bit of scaffold as well for the peas. And you can see in the next one, the peas and mustard, probably my favourite plot, I think, pretty much throughout the entire way. The mustard just seemed to grow really easily. The peas seemed to like it, like the no-till situation as well, and the no inputs, wasn't really too fussed. A little bit more weeds in this compared to the previous plot where there was grass weeds in it, but not too bad. This one was a bit of a favourite. So then finally, plot 9. This, similar to the beans and oats, it made up the majority of the field. So it filled in all the balance apart from the tramline trials and also all the headlands as well. So probably a bit of a yield penalty as well from compaction on the headland and so forth with the tramline. Again, the barley did suffer in a no-till situation, but still performed. So I don't know, an all right performing one, I think, this one. So moving on to the results. So this is looking at the bean and oat, mostly mix. You see the gross margins down the side, nothing too particularly special, especially, I mean, no beans really yielded this year. It wasn't a very good year for spring beans. You can see the highest in there was the vetch and oats. I've given a price for the vetch and mustard, you'll see in the pounds per tonne of half what I would be paying to buy it in, which I think is fair enough because that's half what it's going to be used for cover crop seed or bird food seed, for example. So you just see how they all did there with the variable costs. You can see very, very low costs. And then the gross margins at the end. Down at the bottom, that is a figure a neighbour has provided for his beans. Again, you can see even in a conventionally grown system, they didn't yield too well. Low variable costs, but yeah, it's not great gross margin, not a great year overall for beans, but that's how it goes. And then at the bottom was our conventional oats that we grew. You can see they had 80 kilograms of N, 30 tonnes a hectare of farmyard manure, along with a herbicide and fungicide. As you can see, the normal grown oats is better in this situation. On to the next field. So 5 plots in here, ranging from the worst performing was the peas and barley, possibly because peas hate the compaction of the headland and barley didn't really perform too well overall. And then the greatest plot in here was the peas and mustard. You can see over £1,000 a hectare gross margin. So yeah, again, quite low variable costs. Most of the variable costs in these are due to the seed costs because I had to buy in seeds, so they're quite expensive. Obviously, home saving would reduce that a fair bit. And then right down at the bottom shows our conventionally grown peas on the farm here as well. It's the best our peas have ever done. Over £1,000 a hectare gross margin, but obviously had inputs with that. And then the barley, that again, my neighbour has provided the figures. I don't know the specifics on the inputs, but it told me 120 kilograms a hectare of N. I'm not sure about P and K, but I would assume it had 1 or 2 fungicides and probably 1 herbicide on top of that. But even that didn't do too well, 661, but is what it is. One thing that I think we need to consider the time is what we can stack on top of it. And those top 4 payments, I suppose, options, that is what I could have stacked on top of what I've done this year in the trials. So you can see, I think it's £235 a hectare for the top 2 things, and the bottom 2, the no-till direct drilling and the precision farming approaches, they would be applicable for those as well, which are expected in 24, but we don't know the specifics. That data for the payments was given back in January of 23, so we don't know any of that yet, but it's going to be all about stacking payments and reducing risk, and I think that's what this is really. So I hope you have enjoyed that. I will show a quick little photo here now that hopefully you can see a difference in one of the plots where I can't remember what it was, where the oats and vetch is at the bottom half of the field, and then the top half of the field was beans and oilseed rape, and you can see where there's a difference in the plots. So I'll do some probably some updates on how the following wheat crop is what I'm talking about is faring in those two fields now, and then we'll be following that with a cover crop and going back into trials in spring 25. So hope you've enjoyed. Yeah, peace.